Good morning, everybody. I know I've not been around for a few weeks. This is due to two of my three vehicles breaking down. Pain in the ass, but that's the way it goes. So I've not been able to do much work on the Eurofighter, and it's just been a mess. So anyhow, apologize about that. We will start doing some more videos now that we've got all the problems fixed, or at least I hope so. Anyhow, that's leading me to also make some changes to the channel, due to the fact that most of you only watch the 10-15 minute videos for like 2 minutes, which really hurts the channel. I've decided that I'm going to actually add a little bit different content. I'm actually also going to include repairing and updating, modifying some of my vehicles, especially my latest toy, which is a red convertible Audi TT, which I'm in the midst of cleaning up and restoring, so to speak. We will still be doing lots of plane stuff. This is primarily a RC plane building channel, composite planes and so forth. And we're going to go more into the 3D design and how I make these planes from the very, very beginning, and the concept. Just as an example, the next series which is coming up will be the T-33. Now this is just a very nicely detailed scale model of a T-33, which we're going to be using to design from. Now I have gotten into the design. I have begun the design in 3D, then my car broke down. Then I had a problem with my eyesight. My eyesight is just done a turn for the worst, where I can only use the computer for about 15 minutes, then my vision gets blurred. So I've got some special glasses being made as we speak, and that should resolve that problem so I can spend a lot more time doing the 3D design. Anyhow, just to let you know that there will be a little bit of content on car stuff. It's another kind of hobby of mine which I do, and maybe some other stuff as well. Hey, maybe we'll do a cooking show. I make mean chicken tikka masala. But anyhow, that's it for now. So there's a little bit of Eurofighter fixing up in this content from the previous one where we blew up the fans and such. And I'm just going to include a little content in that for this video. So let's get started. All right, folks. Well, we're back on the Eurofighter. These are the fan mounts, and as you know from previous videos, what destroyed these fans was the fact that all these wires got sucked into them. So I'm doing it a different way. So what I've done, I cut some holes underneath these foam and fiberglass fan mounts, and I'm going to run this plastic tube inside like this, kind of like that, glued. And then my intention is to repair all these wires and then run them all in. So the wires for the ailerons, elevators and so forth, I believe there's 4 of them, will come up at the back of the fans in between the outlet ducts. And that way they'll connect from the wing, what is it? From the wing into these at the back of the fan. So all these wires, which are usually connected up front, came across the spar going in this way. So now I'm going to run them all through underneath the fans, bring them up, and that way pretty much guarantee that I don't destroy another set of fans with wires at least. But before I can fix those wires, I need to get all the little bits of destroyed fan blades out of the fuselage. The blades are just shattered, and there's like shrapnel in some of the foam, embedded in plywood, embedded in fiberglass, and so forth. And I used to have this as my vacuum. This is the hose which leads into my other side of the garage. It's hung it. The vacuum is hung on the wall. I'll show a pic. So what I had to do was make these adapters. So this one doesn't work inside the fuse because I can't get in anywhere. However, this one should work just fine. So I've got a nice long reach. I've got some grooves cut in there so I don't get a vacuum catch. And we'll clean out the fuselage next, and then we'll start repairing the wires. All right, so for those of you who don't know how to splice these wires for servos, I'll show you. So what I'm going to do is just tin the tip of my soldering iron. I'm just going to come to the end. I don't want to go all the way down. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. Because I don't want the heat to transfer down the insulation that much. Soldering iron set to 750 degrees. Okay, that should be good. All right, so what I've done, I put some small heat shrink on and a larger one to cover the whole lot down below. So the reason why I only solder the end is so I can just pull on it very slightly and fold the joint. I don't know if you can see that good, but fold the wire back on itself. If I'd have soldered all the way down, I would have a problem doing this because I'd have a big bump. So now what I can do is pretty much move the heat shrink right up the wire without any problem of it jamming. Like I say, as if I would have done it close to the insulation or the entire joint, then it would have a big bump, and then I'd have to use bigger heat shrink to get over it. That would just create a big ass mass of wire, which we don't really need. And now we're just going to shrink the heat shrink. You can use a cigarette lighter, whatever. Preferably not a heat gun because it spreads too much heat. This is something what was used for what do you call it? Scrapbooking. This was used for scrapbooking, and it works like a charm. This thing works perfectly. I forget where I got it. I got it from one of those hobby supply places for scrapbooking, I guess. And then we bring up the main one, the big heat shrink. We shrink that down. The reason I don't like using a heat gun is it's just not focused enough. So you, by the time you get the heat on the heat shrink itself, you've pretty much melted pretty much everything. So I don't like to use that. So let's see. I'm just going to do a quick test fit. Make sure I got enough. Perfect. Okay. All right, so I'm going to repair these several joints, and we'll get back. Okay, so I have all the control wires spliced now. I've added about 12 inches to it, probably a bit more than what I really needed, but I want to make sure I've got the right length. This is the landing lights and the gear. So that's okay. That's well forward of the fens. and well secured, so we shouldn't have any problems. Now it's just a matter of testing each one with the tester. All right, here we go with the second wing. Those servos are a bit noisy because my battery's getting low on the tester, so I just needed to make sure they worked, so everything's happy. So folks, thanks for watching. I promise you it will not be all cars, but there will be several car videos inserted once in a while, and it's up to you whether you want to watch them or not, and I appreciate you watching the channel. And if you like it, please subscribe, hit the bell, etc.